When you say referee, the first association for most people will be a bald-headed tall man with a strong look in his eyes from Italy. And his name is Pierluigi Collina. But how did he reach such a legendary status that no referee until or since him even touched? Well, it's a long story. Just like millions of other Italian kids, Collina caught a footballing fever since the moment he was born. He played constantly on the streets of Bologna, but unlike many of his peers, Collina didn't ignore his studies for the sake of football. Instead, he was one of the best in his class throughout primary and middle school. He realized that the footballing career wasn't realistic. He played as a center back, which made sense given his height and strength. However, the skill just wasn't there, as Collina was smart enough to recognize. So instead of taking the path of a failed footballer, he decided to become a referee. At just 17 years of age, he took the referee course and started his career. He was successful too. Collina reached the highest levels locally even as a teenager. Not only that, but he also signed up for university where he graduated with a degree in economics when he was 24. When he turned 30, Pierluigi Collina was invited to referee the highest level of Italian matches, Serie A and Serie B. He quickly earned a nickname Kojak because he was bald due to losing all facial hair to a rare syndrome called alopecia. This, however, played into his hands because he had a distinctive look and his face was easily remembered. Collina became one of the top Italian referees during the 1990s, resulting in a call from FIFA as he became an official FIFA referee. His career launched towards the stars ever since. Collina refereed the biggest matches on the planet, including the most legendary Champions League final ever, when Manchester United scored 2 injury-time goals to overturn Bayern Munich's 1-0 lead and win the whole competition. Years later, Collina remembers the match as his favorite, as he himself said, "I will always remember it for different reasons. First of all, the reaction of the Manchester United supporters when they scored the second goal. It was an incredible noise, like a lion's roar. Then there was the reaction of the Bayern players, their disappointment as they fell down on the pitch after conceding that goal. The contrasting reactions of happiness and sadness, and the sad eyes of Lothar Matthäus when he looked at the trophy, all very unforgettable." However, the peak of his career came 3 years later. FIFA assigned him to officiate the World Cup final between Germany and Brazil. The Brazilians won the match, but aside from Ronaldo's magic, Pierluigi Collina was one of the most memorable faces from that World Cup, and he gained a massive following in Asia after the tournament. In fact, he was so popular that the Japanese company Konami put him on the cover of Pro Evolution 3 and Pro Evolution 4. This was the period when Collina made history because he is the only referee ever to win IFFHS World's Best Referee Award 6 times in a row, from 1998 to 2003. Not only that, but Collina was also Serie A Referee of the Year a whopping 7 times. His integrity, however, was confirmed after he retired in 2005. Juventus was in the center of the infamous Calciopoli. Luciano Malgi, the person in charge of Juve's crimes at the time, was taped talking on the phone complaining that Collina was too objective and that he should be punished for his refereeing. This lifted the Italian referee to an even bigger status than before. He showed up in numerous adverts for world's biggest brands as he was practically one of the symbols of 90s and early 2000s football. He was rightfully introduced to the Italian Football Hall of Fame in 2011. So what made Collina so special? Well, except for the strong look in his eyes, Collina had authority over the players at all times. He was often seen even pushing off players if they crossed the line. Collina once said, "You have to be accepted on the field of play, not because you are the referee, but because people trust you." The Italian had military experience from his youth, which he used on the pitch to make things clear to each and every player no matter what his name was. However, Collina's secret, just like with many great people, is his preparation. According to Graham Pohl, who once worked with Collina as the 4th referee, the Italian was ready for everything. He drew their lineups on board, he told us how they would play, who the fiery characters were, where the likely flashpoints would be, what each assistant might expect to happen on his part of the pitch. He covered everything. It was incredible. It was preparation to the nth degree, and furthermore, he wasn't wrong. We could talk about Collina's biggest events all day, but there is a standout moment in his career. He is the first referee ever that a player wanted to swap shirts with. Unironically, it was David Beckham who swapped shirts with Collina in the 2002 World Cup. The big Italian is also bizarrely famous in Turkey because no Turkish team ever, either international or club, lost when Collina was officiating the match. A man who changed football refereeing forever and took things to a higher level. Pierluigi Collina was a revolutionary in his own right. He nowadays works as a member of UEFA Referees Committee, overseeing the new generation of referees with all of his knowledge, reputation, and experience.